Okay, since we have finished graphing a line and writing the equation of a line, we are now going to jump to section 6.3. We are skipping section 6.1.6.2, and we're jumping to 6.3, which is solving system of equations by elimination. Okay, so the two sections we actually skipped were solving systems of equations by graphing and solving system of equations by substitution. So we are jumping to elimination. What we are doing and what it means is by equations is take our graph, our coordinate plane. We are going to have two lines, and basically we are finding where those two lines intersect, okay? Now, obviously I said we're not doing the graphing point, but we're still finding where the two lines intersect. So we have steps. The first thing we need to do is write the system, and what it means by system is we're always going to have two equations. So write the system so that the equations are aligned. And what that means is our x is under our x, our y is under our y, numbers under our number. Most of you like for them to be in standard form, and that's pretty much what we'll work with. It doesn't always have to be, but most of the time that's the easiest. Step 2 is we are going to eliminate one of the variables. And there will be stages to that process, and that's what we're going to go through. The third thing we will do is we will then solve for the variable that is left, because if we eliminate one in step 2, then we're going to have just one left. And then step 4, we will plug that answer in to find the other variable. Okay? And then step 5, our answer will always be written as an ordered pair. So there is our process. Now, as far as directions, since we skipped graphing and substitution, this will always be solve using elimination, okay? That will always be the directions. So let's look at number 1. Y plus 3x equals -2, and 2y minus 3x equals 14, okay? So the question is, are the two equations aligned? Yes, the y is under the y, x is under the x, equal sign, and our numbers. So we're ready to go. So we are always going to be adding the two equations together, and when we add these together, notice the x's will cancel. So 1y plus 2y is 3y. 3x and -3x cancel, but don't put a line through them because we're going to have to come back to these equations. So don't just put a line through them. Equals -2 plus 14 gives us 12. And then, so that was step 2 from our process up here. We eliminated a variable. Now we need to solve for the variable that we have. So to solve, we divide by 3. And y equals 4. Now, I'm a person, I know my answer has to be an ordered pair. So once I get the first one, I like to put it in the correct spot. Since it was y, I put it in the y. Now, to find the other one, so step 4, we are going to plug this into either one of these. It doesn't matter. I always plug it into the first one, but you don't have to. You can plug it into either one. So I'm going to plug 4 in for y. So instead of writing y, I'm going to write 4 plus 3x equals -2. So that's all I did. I plugged my value into the equation. Now I just have an x, so I solve for that x. And divide to finish solving. So x equals -2. So these are lines, because we can solve them both for y and graph them. So these two lines intersect at the order pair -2, 4. And that's how that one works, okay? So number 2, I want you guys to try this one. 7x plus 2y equals -6. And 5x minus 2y equals a +6. Okay? So again, we're going to add. You should already be working. See if we get the same thing. This time the y's cancel. Again, they're aligned. The y's cancel. 7x plus 5x, you should have said is 12x. -6 plus 6 is 0. And to solve, we divide by 12, and 0 divided by anything is 0. Again, I like to go ahead and start my order pair. 0 goes in for x. It is not undefined. It is 0. 0 is a number. Now, again, I'm going to plug 0 up here. I can use either one. I always typically just default to the first one. And then we solve. So 0 times anything is 0, so that goes away. So 2y equals -6. Divide by 2, and y equals -3. So these two lines would intersect at the order pair 0, -3. Easy enough? Okay, let's mix it up here a little bit. How about x minus 3y equals 0? And x plus 10y equals 13. Okay, if I go to add these two equations, does a variable cancel? No, because x plus x would be 2x. Those don't cancel. But they're really close, right? So on one like this, that they are really close, we're just going to multiply one of the equations by a -1. So I'm going to multiply, I'm going to leave the first one alone. Multiply the entire equation. Make sure you multiply the entire equation. Some of you like to put that -1 on both sides so you don't forget to multiply the entire equation. It's completely up to you. So now when I do, that becomes -x minus 10y equals a -13. And now, got myself a little close here. Now you can add the two equations together. So I want you to pause your video, finish this problem, and we'll see if we get the same answer. Okay, so you should have gotten the order pair of 3, 1 for your answer, because once we add these together and solve, we get y to equal 1. Again, I defaulted back to this first one, put 1 in for y, and when we simplify, we get x to equal 3. And this is our final answer. So when I'm grading this, I will be looking for the correct work and y equals, and the correct work x equals, and then this is my final answer. I'm truly looking for is the order pair. So I'm looking for all 3 parts for your answer. Okay, so let's try number 4. 3x plus 4y equals 19, and 3x plus 6y equals 33. So if you add these two equations together, right away will variable cancel? And your answer is no. 3x and 3x is 6. So I need to make one of them negative. Again, I usually default to making the bottom one the -1, but it's up to you. So from here, I want you to, again, pause your video, finish this problem and we'll see if we get the same answer. Okay, did you get the answer of -3, 7? If you did, you can get ready for problem number 4. If not, look at my work here. Again, I multiply the bottom by -1. And then when I add, the x's truly do cancel. -2, -14, solved, get y equals 7. Again, by default, I put it typically in the first equation, and then your basic math to solve. So if you didn't get that, please fix that at this point. So on to number 5. I want you guys to write this one down. This one's a little different, so we'll do this one together. 3x minus 4y equals 7, and 2x minus y equals 3, okay? So, again, can we add these two equations together, make a variable cancel? No. Can I make one of them negative and make a variable cancel? No. So this is where we're going to have to multiply by something. It's easiest if we work with this coefficient of 1 here. So if this is a -4, I want to make this one a +4. So you've got to think about -1 times what will give us a -4, because that's what, I mean a +4, sorry. Because that's what we need to make this become a +4 to cancel with this one. Well, -4 will work there. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply this bottom equation by -4. Again, some of you may want to write that -4 on both sides. That's fine. Just remember, we got to multiply the entire equation by that number. So again, I'm going to carry the first one over and then multiply. So -4 times 2 is -8x plus 4y equals -12. Now we can add these two equations together. So 3x plus a -8x is a -5x. The y's cancel, equals a -5. Divide by -5 and x equals 1. So from there, it's all the same. Again, by default, I typically plug it into the first one. So 3 times 1 minus 4y equals 7. Well, 3 times 1 is 3. And then we do our basic math to solve. So -4y equals 4. Divide by -4. And we get y to be -1. So our answer is 1, -1. Okay? All right. Number 6. Try this one. I'm going to let you guys try it, and then we'll see if we get the same answer. Okay? So x plus 2y equals 5, and 5x minus y equals 3. So see if you guys can figure out this one. You actually have two options. Let's go with the y again. So figure out how to cancel out this y, and we'll go from there. Pause your video now. All right, hopefully you got what I said here, and that we were canceling out the y. So to cancel out with a 2y, we need it to be a -2. Well, -1 times what will give us a -2? Well, 2, which is what I multiply by. So I multiplied the bottom equation all the way through by 2. Then my y's will cancel. So I combined my x's. So 5 plus 6 is 11, solved, and finished from there. Again, I plugged back into the first equation. Now, could you have multiplied this by -5 and left this one alone? Absolutely, okay? And we'll talk about that here maybe next lesson. All right, number 7. What about this one? -9x minus 3y equals a -18. And 3x plus y equals 6. Okay? Again, I want you to try and figure this one out, and then we'll see if we get the same answer. So pause your video now. And hopefully you got to a stopping point pretty quick here, because to cancel out with this negative 3y, we need the other one to be a positive 3. So there's a 1 there. 1 times what gives us 3? Well, 3. That's why I multiplied the bottom by 3. When you multiply all the way through by 3, you get 9x plus 3y equals 18. Well, you go to add and everything cancels, but you get 0 equals 0. Okay, and this is where it needs to be careful. Whenever systems of equations, when everything cancels and you get a true statement, your answer is infinitely many. You cannot say all real numbers, because basically we have a line and then it's the exact same line over and over. It's intersecting over and over, which is infinitely many times. If you say all real numbers, you're saying it could be anywhere on this graph, which is not true. It specifically has to be on that line. So do not use all real numbers. It will be wrong, okay? All right, last one, number 8. I'm going to mix it up a little bit too here. What about x plus y equals 5 and y equals 4 minus x? Well, this is the first time this has happened, but it might happen on your homework. It's not aligned. Our x isn't under our x, our y under our y number. So to do that, an easy fix is just to move the x over. So we add x. And again, I want them in line. So it's x plus y equals 4, okay? Again, x and x, y won't cancel, so I need to multiply one of them by a negative 1. I always choosing the bottom one. And when we multiply through, we get negative x minus y equals negative 4. This time when we go to add these together, they both cancel and we get 0 equals 1. So this time is a little different. Our variables canceled, but we got a false statement because 0 isn't equal to 1. When that happens, our answer is no solution. All right, have a good day. That's the end of the lesson.